Stormy Gage Watts, Caddo Commission president. Hey, Miss Stormy, welcome back to Kiel. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm well. Thank you for asking. And how are you?
Stormy, I'm a little upset today. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think what you guys did was in walking out yesterday was disrespectful to me as a Caddo citizen, disrespectful to your fellow commissioners, and I think you could have handled it differently. Your response and why did the 6 members walk out?
Okay. I'm glad to hear that you're upset, Aaron, because I feel the same sentiments. I am upset as well, and I think that the majority of my colleagues were just as upset who joined me in walking out yesterday. And we walked out because we found it quite insulting to those NGOs who are so valuable to the citizens of Caddo Parish to even have that discussion. So that's why we decided the best thing to do was to walk out and not even have that conversation. Because you know what's upsetting to me? It's upsetting to me that it would not be okay. And I would ask you this. Will you be okay with defunding the Providence House who cares for battered women?
No. There's several on that list that I love. And I'm probably stand there before you asking for money. And groups that I'm with do.
Absolutely.
But it just seems like there's a better way. Vote it down. Say, no, this is crazy. We're not doing this. Vote it down. Get your butt out of here. We're not going to vote for this.
But why would we have that conversation where there's the YWCA who cares for women in need, the Meals on Wheels for the seniors, to get a hot meal, and sometimes the only visit they may get in the day, a well check. But there was a comment made on yesterday that said, well, maybe we should, defund all of the other organizations except for Robinson's Rescue, and we believe that Robinson Rescue does a great deal, and they are worthy to us into this Caddo Parish community. They've reduced our unspayed and neutered population. And you got Biomed, EAP. Do you know that the NGOs at one point years ago was facing defunding? And there were department cuts made to make sure that we could continue to fund these organizations. So why would we have that conversation?
I don't have an issue with the NGOs. I don't have an issue with Mike Middleton wanting to put that on the agenda. I have an issue with Caddo commissioners walking out and not doing your jobs. That's what I have an issue with. I hope you understand that.
No, I believe that the job was done, in my opinion, and I believe that the message was received.
Do you think that Commissioner Middleton, let me start from the beginning again. What is wrong with Commissioner Middleton saying maybe we as a group should take a closer look at the way that these NGOs are funded? Obviously, that's not the way you interpreted his motion, his resolution, right?
Well, that's not what the resolution read, to my recollection. The resolution read to suspend all NGO funding. That is what the resolution read. It did not have anything about making a discussion about it because that was never the sentiment. That was never the pulse of that resolution. And let's be honest about it. It was deeper than just saying, let's look at this organization and find out, how we can do things different. We're about to get ready for budgeting. That the conversation could have been had. That could have happened long ago before putting that type of item on the agenda.
Then why not vote on it yesterday? Just put it to bed, put it in a coffin, bury it, as opposed to at further meetings, perhaps Mr. Middleton will bring this up again. And what are you going to do when he does?
Perhaps we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I think that there have been things said like, we are misusing taxpayers' money. First of all, that gaming revenue is public funds, but not taxpayers' money. That's one of the things that we need to, talk about.
So back to my... I'm sorry. I was just going to say, then why not just vote it down? If you had the numbers, vote it down once and for all yesterday.
Well, again, the message was sent that we will not insult those NGOs by having this conversation.
But we
have a proper place for it. We have NGO committees that we could have that conversation in. But the point was to have that conversation, and I was even told yesterday that it was brought forward about some audit findings, and the audit didn't find any evidence of our process not being in compliance. There was over hundreds of applications, and 13 of them were reviewed, with one that was considered incomplete because a signature was missing.
Do you anticipate, in wrapping up, that Mr. Middleton will introduce this resolution again? You said
I'm not sure if he will or not. I mean, if you want to introduce the resolution again, you already have the pulse of the commission majority. It will not pass. So why would you reintroduce the same resolution when we clearly made a statement of how we feel about these NGOs, when we clearly said that we will always take care of our seniors, that we will always take care of those homeless people, that we'll always look out for battered women?
Let's put the shoe on the other foot, though, Stormy. If it was a resolution you felt you were all about, and 6 members got up and walked out, that's just not how a public body should conduct a meeting. And wouldn't you not feel disrespected?
It's a disrespect to those NGOs, Aaron. That's what it's about. It is about representing those NGOs that I just talked about, about the homeless people, about the people who cannot speak for themselves, even about the animals. That's what that is disrespect to. It's not disrespect to that commission.
Well, that's what I wanted you to. That's what I wanted to hear from you yesterday. I wanted you to hear you say that you're disrespecting the Robinson's Rescue. You're disrespecting the YWCA. Whatever. I'm disappointed in the ones that walked out. I really am.
Well, and we're disappointed that we even had to have this conversation, especially publicly, about these NGOs. You think about people who need their medicine, like St. Luke Episcopal. I could go on for days.
You bet.
About it, about what this NGO actually represents, than to have this conversation now, when we could be moving forward on conducting more business, bringing more economic development forward, when we're having these type of conversations. That's stopping government from growing.
Stormy Gage Watts, I can't thank you enough for being so candid this morning and being willing to talk. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Aaron.
You bet.